Hey, what's up you guys? I'm Sara Lubratt and today's video is a collab with Emily McCosh where we picked each other's writing prompts. I have my computer sitting here right next to me, but Emily McCosh sent me 3 writing prompts and I sent her 3 writing prompts. I'm going to be using the 3 prompts that she sent me in this video, and then down below I've linked her video so you can go over there after you finish watching this video to see which writing prompts I sent to her and how she tries to write with them. My video today is going to be a little bit all over the place, like geographically, because I'm currently in Minnesota. I'm going to do the first writing prompt right here, right now, and then I'm probably going to do the second 2 either before I leave for the airport or on the plane. And so I'm going to be in a couple different places while we're going through this, but I have the 3 emails from Emily sitting in my inbox right now. I have not opened them. I'm kind of nervous because I'm very particular about my writing prompts, and it's been a very, very long time since I've had to do a writing prompt from somebody else, but I'm very excited, and there's going to be a little bit of structure to this video. Emily sent me 3 prompts, which I will spend 15 minutes on, 30 minutes on, and 45 minutes on respectively, and so the first prompt is going to be a word prompt that's just like a very basic writing prompt. The second is going to be a photo prompt where she sent me a photo from Pinterest and I need to use that as my inspiration for my 30-minute writing prompt. And then the third is a song prompt that I'm going to spend 45 minutes on. Let's get into this. I have my email pulled up right now, but I have not opened any of them yet. So it's time to open the first prompt, the regular prompt, and spend 15 minutes trying to write something. Emily said, went down a Pinterest rabbit hole looking for prompts. So here you have a hero and villain prompt because I'm a terrible sucker for those. The prompt is, the hero and the villain strike up a conversation. The hero notices the long scar traveling down the villain's shoulder and into their shirt. I can't believe anyone could do that to another person, the hero says. This catches the villain's attention. With a bit more of irritation, they say, you did this, if you'll remember. Ooh, okay. I can work with that. All right. Okay. All right, it's time to start my 15-minute sprint on this writing prompt. All right, I have my timer pulled up down here. I'm just going to set that for 15 minutes, and then we are going to get started. I got to a point in this writing prompt that I really liked, and so I went ahead and stopped 2 minutes and 40 seconds early. So now that I've gone ahead and written the first prompt from Emily, it's time to read it to you guys. This was a complete just first pass through. I have not edited this. This is very much a rough draft, so just putting that out there, but here's what I wrote for prompt number 1. The hero and the villain strike up a conversation. The hero notices the long scar traveling down the villain's shoulder and into their shirt. I can't believe anyone could do that to another person, the hero says. This catches the villain's attention. With more than a bit of irritation, they say, you did this, if you'll remember. Really? The hero asked, sipping her tea. When? The villain's eyebrows rose. You mean you don't remember stabbing me? I remember attempting to stab you, but you turned and my blade only grazed your skin. From the scar, it had not just been a graze, the wound had been deep. The hero frowned. I remember it differently, the villain said. Oh yeah? You, the villain gestured at the hero with the silver spoon, raked the knife along my back. You were not trying to stop me. You were trying to kill me. Killing you would have stopped you, the hero corrected. Well, I was trying to stop you from stopping me. What good would that have done? What good? The villain asked, raising her voice and then dropping it when other people in the tea shop looked over at them. What good? You were trying to stop me from extinguishing a fire. You started that fire, the hero accused. On what authority? Between the 2 of us, you were the one with the history of arson. If anything, you could have attacked me to push the blame of the fire on me. Why would I do that? The hero asked sweetly, sipping their tea, the liquid in their cup getting dangerously low. The villain looked down at her mug, gripping their spoon. To blame me for something I didn't do. To make me look like the bad guy. Were you trying to give me a tragic backstory? That I burned an office where my ex worked? That I was trying to harm them? You need to stay out of my way, the hero warned. What are you planning on doing? The villain asked. You shouldn't have picked a place so public, the hero said, setting down their mug onto the little matching saucer before launching themselves across the table at the villain. That was prompt number 1. As you can tell, I decided to not name my characters because I was only going to be working on this for 15 minutes, and as you guys know, if you have been following my channel for a while, I tend not to name characters until like draft 2 or 3. These characters remained hero and villain. As I was writing, I did notice that I wanted to kind of subvert the 2 and make the hero a little bit more villainistic. I don't know if that's a word, and make the villain a little more heroistic. I kind of wanted to deal with labels and how the two characters had been mislabeled, and so I'm very happy with that considering it was 15 minutes. Alright, the scenery has changed. I'm now back in my apartment. I just got back from both the airport and the grocery store, but I did the other two prompts while I was on the plane, and this was the picture that Emily chose for my photo prompt. I didn't really know what I wanted to do with this image for a while, and so despite the fact that I'd given myself half an hour on the plane to do this prompt, I ended up trying a couple different things, and so my final piece was not very long because it was only like 15 of the 30 minutes that I spent on that avenue, because I did try, I believe, 3 different ways writing this story, 3 different ideas. I liked the last one the best just because the first 2 just like weren't quite there for me. First one was way too short. I was done in 5 minutes. I was like, okay, I'm giving myself half an hour to do this. That's too short. And then the second attempt on this prompt 2, I was trying to figure out why this character would be crying and what significance the tears would have. And again, it was too short, or it was going to be much, much longer if I actually took the time to like explain why she is crying glitter or like bioluminescence almost. And so basically, long story long, I attempted this prompt 3 different ways basically, but I'm going to be reading the third one, which was my favorite, and I think the most like well-rounded. And I did not finish this one because I actually like the concept for a larger piece. Just because I am not personally super great at writing short stories or flash fiction. So I'm gonna read what I wrote first, and then I'm gonna tell you guys where I thought this was going, aka what I did not get around to writing. The hardest part of the potion was procuring the tears of a homesick girl. A potion of love and loss, a heartbreaking spell, a potion for closeness. Amelia had looked all over town for one, kept her ears listening at the local tavern. There were no girls riddled with homesickness from another town. That left Amelia seemingly one option, to make someone homesick. But the tears would not work if the girl was not homesick. She dressed in a dark cloak and swung the hood low over her eyes. She would have to resort to kidnapping. She wished there was another way, but the client was desperate for this potion, wanted some semblance of healing, of closeness. Amelia was nothing if not reliable. Her horse had been readied and she set off. She needed to get a girl away from her town and into the forest long enough for her to weep from sadness. Amelia hadn't stolen a girl before. She had stolen baby's eyelashes, collarbones from the butcher, and water from the sacred wells, but never a human girl. Alright, that's basically what I wrote, and then where I kind of saw this prompt going for me was kind of almost in the direction of Amelia going, I actually did name this character, Amelia, of Amelia going off and trying to find a girl, and then I was debating whether or not this girl would actually end up homesick, or if she'd like always wanted to leave wherever she was, and so she wasn't actually gonna be homesick, which would have like ruined the whole point of Amelia kidnapping her. Anyways, I don't know. I wasn't entirely sure where this was going, but it was going to be a lot longer than this. This could have easily been like turned out to be like 5 or 10 pages, but I will talk about my struggles with writing longer pieces in a little bit. But overall, out of my 3 attempts at that prompt 2, I did like that one the best. I liked the concept. Again, these are all rough drafts. They're not perfect. They were not edited. You guys know that. All right, and then the third prompt was a song, and I can't play it here because of copyright issues, but you guys can go look it up. It's Miracles by Two Steps from Hell. And so I listened to this right before I got on the plane, and then I kind of like let it percolate in my brain a little bit just because I was like waiting in line to board the plane and whatnot. You guys know the gist. The song really reminded me of some of the video game music from the game Spyro Dawn of Darkness, which was like one of my favorite video games growing up because I loved the Spyro games. But it totally reminded me of the Spyro games and dragons and everything, and so I went a little bit more fantasy with this one. A little bit. So here is what I ended up writing for prompt 3 in my 45-minute time slot. For millennia, they had been hunted. For decades, they had been scarce. For years, they had been nearly extinct. Decrees had been passed, guards posted around the town to make sure no one snuck out in the middle of the night to poach the beasts for their scales and horns. But nothing would change until the lords took down the wings mounted outside their doors. The beasts were hunted for the virtues their body parts showed, bravery and courage for hunting a dragon, mounted wings for the enlightened, intelligent thinkers, heads and jaws mounted to show headstrong, quick-thinking leaders, and barbed tails wrapped wrapped around doorways and houses to show that someone was trustworthy. Others used them as a sign to ward off evil, but a dead dragon didn't protect anyone. It disgusted Minna. She wanted nothing more than to rip down the mangled body parts. Those that put them up were never what the symbols represented. The headstrong leaders trampled over others to get where they were. Intelligent thinkers were only those who would never listen to others, and those with the tails wrapped around their houses were backstabbers and ultimately not trustworthy. The dragons would never return if they remained hunted. More than that, the town smelled like rot. The dragons that had protected them for centuries had been separated and portioned out, their bodies scattered around the town. Over the last few years, the attacks had gotten worse, more frequent and more lethal. The trolls, spirits, and demons had descended from the mountain and raided the town. At first, they hadn't gotten anywhere near the scaled houses, but over time they got closer and more brave. The corpses didn't do anything to keep them away. They burned and looted and feasted. As the body parts continued to rot, the people became more afraid, more worried about their survival, more willing to do whatever it took to survive. The sky used to be full of soaring dragons and the land full of peace. They had been miracles to the land. Now the land was of foul creatures. So that's what I ended up writing. But again, this is something that I think would be so potentially cool as a setting for a larger piece. So I actually really like this as a setting, but with 45 minutes, it's not a complete story, even a short story. So I like the gist. And honestly, I kind of want to do something with it in the future, maybe? We'll see. This was an excellent exercise to sort of flex my creative muscles. I am very much a novel writer though, and if it's not 100,000 or more words, I kind of tend to struggle with writing it. I really enjoyed this idea of exchanging writing prompts with Emily and given a set time limit because it helps me at least work on my short story and flash fiction ideas and skills, even if I'm not great at them right now. You have to start somewhere. I really enjoyed that some of these prompts that she sent me have sparked ideas for larger projects potentially, but we will just have to see what happens in the future. Speaking of short stories and flash fiction, this collab with Emily McCosh came at a very interesting time and kind of a fun time because actually tomorrow, September 15th, her debut short story collection is coming out, and it's called All the Woods She Watches Over: Stories and Poems, and it is her debut book, and I'm so excited for her. I have pre-ordered it. If you are at all interested in checking that out, it is also linked in the description box below. And now that we are nearing the end of the video, I wanted to remind you that you should hop over to Emily's video, linked right here and in the description box below, to see which prompts I sent her and what she chooses to do with them. Alright, that's it for me today, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up because it really supports my channel by showing the YouTube algorithm that you liked my video and that someone else might too. If you are here from Emily's channel or just new to my channel in general, I make videos about writing, my writing process, and hopefully eventually my path to publication. And if you guys made it this far in the video, make sure you leave a comment down below that says progress is progress. And let me know if you want to try any of these writing prompts or if you write with writing prompts often, because I really think that I should write with writing prompts more often. I just need to get back into it. And make sure you hit that subscribe button and that little notification bell right next to it if you have not already, because I post videos twice a week on Mondays and Thursdays, and I will see you guys next time with another video. Bye!